Okay, let's just jump right in. What if I told you that some of the quote-unquote healthy foods you might be eating every single day are actually doing more damage to your heart than cholesterol? Seriously, we're going to break down how one very common ingredient, one that's hidden in plain sight, is the real driver of heart disease for millions of people, especially those over 50. Now, I know that quote sounds like something straight out of a horror movie, but it's not an exaggeration. It's real science. The process is called glycation, and here's how to think about it. Sugar molecules in your blood, they get sticky. They act like little grappling hooks, grabbing onto the proteins that make up your artery walls. This makes your arteries stiff, brittle. It literally caramelizes them from the inside out. This damage is happening silently, right now, in millions of people, and it is the absolute key to understanding the real threat to your heart. You know, for decades, we've been told one story. Watch your cholesterol, avoid fat, here's your prescription. But for most of us, especially as we get over 50, it turns out we've been pointing the finger at the wrong culprit this whole time. So here's the crucial point. We've been so laser-focused on cholesterol, but often it's just a symptom. It's not the root cause. The real disease, the thing that's actually driving the damage, is metabolic dysfunction. And what's that? It's a whole cascade of problems that gets kicked off by years and years of sugar and insulin overload. This is the villain we really need to unmask.
And listen, this isn't just some theory. The hard data is honestly startling. A huge study in the Journal of the American Medical Association found something incredible. People who got more than 25% of their daily calories from sugar, they had nearly 3 times the risk of dying from heart disease. And get this was completely independent of their weight or even their cholesterol levels, just from sugar. Nearly triple the risk. Let that sink in for a second.
So how in the world does this happen? How does a simple sweetener go from being a treat to literally scarring your arteries from the inside out? Let's get into the actual science of it. It all comes back to that caramelization process we just mentioned, glycation. So imagine your arteries are supposed to be these smooth, flexible hoses, right? Glycation is like pouring sticky glue inside them. The sugar molecules just glom onto the artery walls, making them stiff and brittle. This creates constant irritation, this chronic inflammation. It's like having a wound on the inside that just never ever heals. Your body can't repair the damage properly because it's constantly getting scraped raw. Okay, so here's how that chain reaction of damage really unfolds. Step 1. You eat a high-sugar meal, maybe a healthy cereal and a glass of juice. Your blood sugar shoots up. In response, your pancreas pumps out insulin to handle it. But if this happens over and over, day after day, for years, your cells start to get tired of the constant signal. They start to ignore the insulin. That's insulin resistance. So what does your pancreas do? It panics and works overtime, flooding your body with even more insulin. And that constant state of high insulin, that's the real danger. It tells your body to store all that extra sugar as artery-clogging fats called triglycerides, and it fuels that destructive glycation process we've been talking about. Now, you're probably thinking, where is all this sugar coming from? I don't eat a lot of dessert. And that's the thing. The shocking truth is the biggest culprits are usually hiding in foods that are marketed to us as being healthy. Let's start with the first meal of the day. Culprit number 1, the healthy whole grain breakfast cereal. I mean, it's got a health stamp right on the box. It says all the right things. But when you turn it around and look at the nutrition label, it tells a very, very different story. And let's be honest with ourselves, who actually eats just one serving? Nobody. Most of us pour a bowl that's easily 2 servings. That means you could be gulping down 20 to 30 grams of sugar before you've even properly started your day. For most women, that's your entire recommended daily limit gone before 9 a.m. And that's exactly what triggers that massive insulin spike that kicks off the whole cycle of damage. All right, next step, the absolute classic health food, low-fat flavored yogurt. See, back in the 80s and 90s, when food manufacturers took all the fat out, they had to add something back in to make it taste good. And what did they add? You guessed it, massive amounts of sugar. A single small container can pack 20, even 30 grams of sugar. To put that into perspective for you, that's often more sugar than you'd find in a glazed donut. And you're eating it thinking you're making a great healthy choice? It's crazy.
Okay, but what about natural sugar? You know, like from 100% fruit juice. Well, here's the problem. When you drink a glass of juice, you're getting all the sugar from, say, 4 to 6 apples in just a few minutes, but with none of the fiber that would normally slow down its absorption in your body. The science on this is crystal clear. That rush of liquid fructose just completely overloads your liver, which immediately panics and converts it into those triglycerides we talked about.
In fact, studies show that just one daily glass of juice is linked to a 24% increased risk of stroke. The rule is so simple. Eat your fruit, don't drink it.
And finally, we've got the invisible sugars. These are the ones you consume every single day without even realizing it. 2 slices of typical sandwich bread can have 8 to 12 grams of added sugar. Then you add in things like pasta sauce, ketchup, salad dressings, and you can easily pile on another 30 to 50 grams of sugar that you never even tasted.
So, what can you do about all this? It really starts in the grocery store. You have to become a label detective. And here's a simple, powerful rule you can use starting today. If you see sugar, or one of its 50+ other names, listed in the first 5 ingredients on a food label, just put it back on the shelf. Simple as that.
Okay, I know. After hearing all of that, it's really easy to feel alarmed, maybe a little overwhelmed. But here's the most important part of this whole story. The damage is not permanent. Your body is amazing and it wants to heal. The process of reversing this damage can begin so much faster than you think.
And this healing process, it starts almost immediately. Within just 1 week of cutting out added sugars, your insulin levels start to stabilize. Your pancreas finally gets a much-needed break. Within a month, those dangerous triglycerides can absolutely plummet. And after just 3 months, your risk of dying from cardiovascular disease can drop by a staggering 20 to 30%. I mean, these aren't just numbers on a screen. They are real, measurable signs that your body is recovering.
So you're ready to start. Great. To make this actually work long-term, it's just as important to know what not to do as it is to know what to do. So let's quickly cover the common mistakes and then look at some super simple, powerful food swaps.
Here are the top 5 pitfalls to watch out for. First, don't go to extremes and cut out all fruit. Second, don't just replace sugar with a bunch of artificial sweeteners. That just keeps the cravings alive. Third, don't be fooled by healthy sugars like agave or organic cane sugar. Your liver treats it all the same way. Fourth, focus on real whole foods, not just processed junk food that's labeled low carb. And most importantly, don't give up after one mistake. This is a long game, not a perfect game. And look, making these changes can be surprisingly easy. Instead of that sugary cereal and juice, start your day with eggs and avocado. Instead of that flavored yogurt, swap it for plain, full-fat yogurt and add your own fresh berries. Instead of a sandwich on bread, how about a huge salad with plenty of protein? See, this isn't about deprivation. It's about upgrading the fuel you put into your body.
This quote here is from a 59-year-old patient named Robert. And for years, he thought the constant fatigue, the brain fog, the afternoon energy crashes, he just thought that was a normal part of getting older. But after he cut out these hidden sugars, he realized it was the food all along. He said he felt better at 59 than he did at 49.
So all of this leaves us with one final, powerful question. Every single meal you eat is a choice. It's a decision, and it moves you on a path either toward chronic disease or toward vitality and health. You have complete power to protect your heart, and that power literally starts with your very next meal. So, what are you going to choose?